Hello and welcome back once again, my friends, pioneers, awakened souls of werewolves, divergence, and glitches, to another episode of the Daily Candle Close News. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you may be in the matrix and galaxy tonight. Let's go. Take a deep breath with me, pioneers. Because I know there are moments when you might say to yourself, it can't be done. But instead of backing down, pioneers, you gotta push yourself forward into the darkness and the unknown. See, at some point, everything will go bad, turn south on us real quick, go left. And you can say, this is who I am, or you can get to work and not accept that. You gotta do the math and solve each and every problem. I want to remind you, pioneers, of the power of the mind. Because we can think our way into stress, negativity, failure, misery, frustration. But if we choose our mind to change our life, we can decide in our mind what we want it to be. Let's go. The journey is not going to be easy, though. It's going to be a long, hard journey, pioneers. And it's going to be hard to keep your spirit intact, stand tall. To look at who we are. What's going to be crucial is to look throughout the future, and every time we find ourselves saying that it can't be done, wanting to quit, throwing the towel, putting ourselves down, thinking negative about us and the possibilities of us, we got to literally catch ourselves and check ourselves and refer to ourselves in the process and say, no, I can make it. I am gonna make it. And there is some way that it's gonna happen for me. We are in control of our mind, our life, but we believe it's the other way around. We put in our minds what we should do. We have to neuroplasticity reprogram our life. It don't suck. It's okay. Heartaches, I know. There's nothing in your life that's worthwhile, that's easy. Everything that's worthwhile is uphill, a battle. It ain't gonna feel like it's your job to make yourself feel like you've gotta do what you don't wanna do. You can be all you can be. There is no passion to be found being small, weak, settling for a life that's consistent, less than the one I'm capable of living. What if I'm giving it all I've got day in and day out, fourth quarter overtime, and I still come up short, coach? Get weak along the way, and I throw in the towel on myself. I surrender, and I retreat. What then, coach? A lot of people become discouraged, overlooked, undervalued, frustrated, and they say, oh, what the hell, coach? They go back to being stagnant, going back to doing what they did before that didn't work. You're the captain, the pioneer, the general. You are the abundance, the Messiah. You are the head, the Messiah region of the body. Don't give control of that to nobody. You can always better your best. That's why they call it a personal record. Go beyond what has never been done. You gotta practice, put in the work so you can get better. Easy doesn't pay well, pioneers. If somebody came and knocked you down right now today, there's nothing you could do about it. If I came back a week later and you're still on the ground, we got a fucking problem. See? Some of you say, coach, it ain't my fault. You're right. The way you were born, the way you grew up, it's not your fault. But if you're still on the ground after 20, 30 years, you ain't got nothing to show me. It's not your fault, though, huh? You making excuses. I ain't got enough time, enough money. I'm not blaming you for what you've been through. But if I come back 20 years, a week later from what you've been through, and you're still on the ground, that's your fault. You gotta choose the path never taken. Let's go. Can I get a hello, pioneers? Keep playing the game. Fourth quarter overtime, keep grinding, hustling, getting it out the mud, and the other things will take care of theyself. Do you realize that every single day you thought that you weren't gonna make it, the days you thought that it was unbearable, that you thought you couldn't endure the pressure like a diamond, do you know you're still here? So your survival rate for every single one of those days is 100%. Pioneers, let's go. Let's climb. We on one tonight. People can barely endure the pain, the sacrifice that it takes to be successful, their higher self, because it's an uphill battle. And along the way, they're not going to see too many friends, family, and loved ones that are supporting them. They're only going to see their shadow. And then they got to beat that, their shadow side. They got to purge that shadow. You got to fight, dig deep to do that. You have to be vigilant. You have to be on guard, holding the line. We ain't talking diamond hands though. That's the wreck mentality. Things that shouldn't matter, but things that do. When every single body is giving up on you, belittling you, overlooking you, what are you gonna do? When everybody's against you and don't believe in you no more, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and say, why don't you try something else instead of giving up? There's been so many times in our life where people tell us we can't do something. Where would you be if every single time somebody told you you couldn't do something, you listened to them? There will be times when you feel alone. A caterpillar feels alone when he goes through a metamorphosis in a cocoon but comes out a butterfly. You gotta go through the metamorphosis. Are you crazy? There will be times when people think you're insane. And the darkness seems to consume everything, but don't let it consume you, your mindset. Your higher self. Even in the darkest times, the strongest, darkest storms, the sun is blotted out and the world's in chaos, falling apart. The darkness cannot distinguish your light. Let there be light, your pineal gland. Open that third eye, your will, your determination. No matter what you're going through in life, how hard it is. As long as you keep fighting. Fourth quarter overtime. Only surrender is defeat. Only quitting is the end. No. And believe and know within thyself and never doubt within everything within you that nothing's going to be lost. I dare you to use your imagination to dream your highest dreams. I dare you, pioneers, that every single circumstance you're going through, keep dreaming and keep fighting for that dream, focusing on it to make it a reality. Believe as if it is already here, because that's what true success is. Oh, you're being unrealistic, coach. You're dreaming. Yeah, I am dreaming, pioneers. I'm daydreaming because a lot of people have stopped dreaming. Don't stop dreaming. Whatever fucking storm you found yourself in, never give up, never surrender, never retreat. I know it hurts. I know you don't want to take it anymore. Your dreams look like your nightmares. No. Don't give up. You have not seen the best days of your life yet. And when things don't make any more logical sense and you can't go on, that's when you use your emotion, your energy, emotion, your anger, your frustration to push you to the next level. Say, I can't stop, won't stop, gotta get it. You gotta win battles in order to win the war. And we're in war right now, pioneers, even in the mindset. Because what's going on outside in the world is going on inside of us as well. You gotta do things you don't want to do. And I know that can be hard, pioneers. I get up and do it every day, but that's why people lose the war, because the daily fight is the challenge. You will not always want to do what you need to do, what you have to do. You will not always feel like doing something you don't want to do. You may not want to fight that battle today, but you're gonna need to. You gotta gas yourself up, pioneers. Lift up the energy, the vibrations, live in that peace, love, and abundance. Let's go. You gotta raise the frequency, raise the vibrations, Hakuna Matata. And when you get there to your higher self, but you know you can climb more because you hit a wall. You gotta break through the wall, pioneers, and knock the life out of somebody. That wall, that spirit. Gut check. Let's go. I want you to look back on your life and think of the times that you couldn't make it, but you're still here today. 100% survival rate. Hold up, this person doesn't care about me, coach. My family gave up on me, my friends, they overlooked me, belittle me. There's no gain without pain, pioneers. So this person is gonna come back anyhow, again and again and again. Reincarnation, let's go. Day in, day out. Here's what happens to you, pioneers. You will have an incredible breakthrough if you never quit, never surrender. When a lion pioneer is born, they are not born as a lion, a pioneer. They were born as a cub, a son, a daughter. See, how does a lion look like that? But a gazelle doesn't look like that. How does a gorilla look like that? But a monkey don't look like that. See, it is the actual hurt, the actual chasing. So whether you believe it or not, every time you go on the hunt, pioneers, you're developing that pioneer mindset. Don't get caught up on the life out there in the world. caught in the distractions. Look here, look there, do this, do that. Be your own self. It's how you practice what you do to make yourself your higher self, to reach ascension, to be abundant. How much longer are you going to wait to become your greatest version, pioneers? How much longer are you going to wait? Another 30 seconds, another day? You're going to wait another minute? Another hour? Next year? Okay. 2024 January resolutions, I know. You're going to wait till tomorrow? Another week, pioneers? Nonsense. You got to do it right now, today. Be the change you want to see in the world today. Don't let anybody ever tell you you are not good enough. So many young people believe in life right now that they can't. They don't have the potential. I ain't got the time, coach. I ain't got the money. If you really want something bad enough, you'll figure out the way to get there. It's about commitment to your higher self, your best version, because you want somebody else to be more committed to you than you are to yourself. See, you got to get to the point where no other human wants it more than you. When you don't have any other option, pioneers, your chance of success is pretty freaking good. I'm going to succeed no matter what I have to do. No matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult the road, the obstacles, trials, and tribulations that may stand in my way, how many people stand in my way, how many haters and naysayers. On the days I don't feel like it, coach, I'm still getting up, putting in the grind, fourth quarter overtime, still putting my work boots on, kicking ass, coach. That's how people succeed, because they are pioneers. Let's go. Short-term thinking in the mindset says, I can't do it. One workout doesn't matter. I can miss a day. You know? Short-term thinking encourages you to make short-term emotional decisions that hurt you in the long run. Can I get a hello, pioneers? But the more long-term active decisions you made based on gratification of your higher abundant self, well, the further from the path you will stray. That's why I say you gotta invest your attention, not pay attention. You have to watch every single second, because those seconds turn into minutes, and those minutes turn into hours, and those hours turn into days that turn into weeks, and months that turn into years, pioneers. You need tactical, strategic wins. Proactively prepare to catch yourself, gut check yourself when you find yourself getting negative with yourself. When you find yourself becoming negative about what's happening to you or the circumstances that you're going through. You got to think about this all the time before any action or inaction. Ask yourself, is this going to make myself weaker or stronger? You have to tell yourself the truth. Only you're going to know by your results. See, you can't get captured every day. You got to be the capture of the day. See, all great people start anywhere, at any place, at any time. They start whether they're hurting, whether they're excited, mad, frustrated. It does not matter what they're going through. They just start. They are starters. Don't be a bench warmer. This is what we do, pioneers. You got to tell your brain how you want to go, where you want to go, and how you want to get there. It spans your mindset. Take yourself out of that contraction comfort zone. If you stay in that contraction state of mind, signing them contracts, that's where you will be in failure. It's not a comfortable procedure, I know, pioneers. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. So the next time you are feeling weak or amazing or soft or mad, tell those feelings they don't get a vote. You have to attack, pioneers. The enemy has to know that they will not give up. Fourth quarter overtime, never retreat, never going to throw in the towel. You're going to have to knock me down and down and down. You have to have the will, the heart, the courage to keep fighting that extra distance, that extra mile. Even if you're jacked up, nothing left to give. You got to stop negotiating and never surrender, never retreat. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Giving up my energy to these distractions so I'm not laser focused on my dreams. Because most people don't even make it to where they want to go because they don't give themselves the right mindset. They give themselves mental outs. They quit. You got to learn how to train thy brain. Zero options mentality. You have to learn to seek out to be uncomfortable. to put yourself in positions where your back is against the wall. That's when you're gonna fucking fight. So, you have time, you have the skill, you have the truth, you have $10 to start every week. You have the discipline to get it done. But what are you gonna do with your 24 hours in a day? Because what you believe in your minds and speak into your hearts will eventually become your words and your realities. So Pioneer, sending you all much love and high vibrations, because it's been an eventful day. We see a lot of price action going on in the world of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and some altcoins, and we have seen the price move quite a bit dramatically today, and a lot of people are feeling very bullish, and a lot of fear of missing out, FOMO, right now, because they're just seeing Bitcoin continue since last week go up and up and up. And if you haven't bought in yet, well, I'm not too concerned, okay? There's time to do that, okay? Dollar cost average, $10 a week. Everything that goes up must eventually come back down, Pioneers. I'm not saying that we'll go right back down to 15K where we started this rally from at the beginning of the year, but we cannot continue to go up without having healthy corrections to the backside, the downside. So how can we talk about this today? It is quite clear that you can see there is going to be soon a pretty significant move to the downside. Even a 40% correction would not be uncommon and unheard of for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. It would actually be welcomed in this space. So we will discuss that today. So it's going to be fantastic and great to see if we get this, because a lot of people are calling for the lows to be in, that it's up from here. New bull market has started, and we are not disagreeing that the new bull run is confirmed. But our altcoins and crypto can still have a pretty healthy correction to the downside, all retesting the previous highs. Okay, and you might be thinking, well, what will be the catalyst for a bearish move to see? Well, we got to consider the economic market, and the world is not in the best conditions right now, and there are many reasons why we can see a market correction to the downside, a black swan event. Okay, I'm not looking at Bitcoin or crypto to go into a new market low, 12K. That ship has sailed. Okay, so a lot of altcoins we know have bottomed out. So it's not that we can't come down and retest higher lows or retest the lows on certain altcoins. Probably not Bitcoin, but we'll talk about that. So I think we can see pretty volatile price action in the near distant future, and we'll end up talking about this. So we have to keep in mind that the most recent opportunities to buy were going back to right here in the middle of October. So not even a month ago, coming up on a month ago, where we saw 26K Bitcoin, and now we're up roughly hit a high of 12 grand today. So we're seeing pretty scary things where we're overbought on macro levels again. So we're seeing overbought ranges and indications that may see a reversal and short-term pullback to around 34 or even lower. And this could be very bad for the retail investors that are just FOMOing in right now because they think price couldn't just possibly go right back down. We always want the price to go up, I know, but we want the price to be sustainably high, and we don't want it to come down, right? That's the mentality. But we know better than that here. Okay, we can only take advantage of price moving up if we're only able to buy it when price went down. Okay, Pioneers? So as a seller, you can't be a seller if you miss the buying opportunities. Okay? And I understand if that might not have been right for you at the time at 15K last year in December, November, basically a year ago from where we are now. We've basically been in an uptrend for a year. It's critical to pay attention to what's going on the monthly, the larger time frames, and not get so caught up in the smaller time frames. But, getting back into this and starting the video off with just looking at the 2-hour time frame, just going all the way up to 38K, a place that we have prepared you for going back, well, over a year now, to a possible 38K range before we saw a potential pullback for cryptocurrency. So why is that range important? Well, we've shared with you in numerology and gematria for a year now that, well, again, I was looking at today, November 9th, 2023 gave us that 36, and we started the day off ramping into 36K before then eventually pushing up to, well, that 38K range where I told you we could easily roll over from murder, death, RIP, all giving us this very powerful 38K. So very important that we just pay attention to this. But yeah, 38. So we knew that was a potential critical volatile range. Also, in my previous video, let's listen to this real quick. After 11.9 last year, 2 years ago, our 69K top. If we go right back here to September 11th, 9/11, we had our previous low. We've been in an uptrend since then. So could we go from lows to highs between 9/11 and 11/9? Something I'm paying close attention to. And I mean, you guys, we've done exactly that. So I was able to come out on Halloween and celebrate with you guys and prepare you from lows to highs from, well, basically 59 days ago, from 9/11 to 11/9, and crypto is in a rise today, being 59 days, which we know is the 17th prime number, and then again, well, kill gives you 17. So the price action killed over right after the 44th week of the year last week, and I believe we're still headed towards 28K as our potential lows and buying opportunities that we could see. But we'll just have to continue to see what happens, you guys. But not surprising to see this again 8 weeks and 3 days later. 83, murder 38, let's go. We hit a 38K Bitcoin on November 9th. A year ago we had our lows at 15K. We talked about this. So, right down here, November, boom, 15K. A year later, we're pumping into highs on 11.9, coming out of right back here, 11.10, right after our 11.9 date, boom. We then rolled over for a year. So not surprising to see this very pivotal, just Novembers in the price action. What can 38K do if we see a rejection? We'll talk about that. So, just very scripted by the code, I do believe, and something we were preparing you for quite some time. It really took a lot longer than I thought it would take, but it doesn't always work out the way we think it's going to. We knew we had the top side of the range, the middle of the range that we ended up holding support. I thought we were going to break down towards the 322. We've been super extended since the beginning of October and have yet to back test it on the 2-hour time frame, which is something I haven't seen in quite some time. Probably 2 years now since it's been that overextended without a retest of either one of these exponential moving averages, the 223 or the 322. So very important. But we're going to talk about something else that we brought up recently, which was the dollar index with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So we know there's a inverse correlation, with Bitcoin and the dollar, and we've talked about this in a previous video, and we know it's important because when the dollar tends to push up, Dixie pushes up, Bitcoin tends to be breaking down, and we've seen this in the past, and I shared that in that video as well. You can see that, but recently I also shared how we had both of them moving up, Bitcoin and the dollar, and Coach has been suggesting to himself that one of these is lying, that one of them is gonna reverse, and we've also seen both of them kind of show signs of weakness, but the dollar is still climbing if we look at today versus Bitcoin. So things have been setting up to be bullish for crypto, but now it's kind of something to really pay close attention to. Could we start to see the dollar climb even more while Bitcoin starts to finally push down? Have we broke that recent correlation we've had? I do think so. Only time will tell. But everybody thinks that I'm bearish lately and that I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe because I made a few bad calls, and that's okay, because I've been calling for a pullback, and pullbacks aren't bad, you guys. They're not bullish, okay? They just mean that we're building proper foundation for continuation up, okay? So what's going on with the price action is what I want to point out. And I've been sharing my thoughts here recently in the Discord, and if you're not following us, make sure you get in. The description's down below, because we want to know if the bulls or bears are in control. What the bulls and bears have to do. How are our shorts and longs looking? So I know a lot of people think that just because we get green candles like we have over the past few weeks, it's just going to be up and away to infinity and beyond. But I do think we could have possibly tap into 42, 48k, even as high as 52, but I don't know if it's quite right certainly now. Are we going to finally get that healthy pullback before we make one more final leg up before a long drawn out period of a contraction phase, okay? Because we've been going up since the beginning of the year. We've got to pay attention to that, okay? For a year now, since last November, okay? So over the past few days, we've seen a lot of longs liquidated, and now a lot of shorts have been just continued to get liquidated, okay? It's kind of reminding me of this new movie that just released that's talking about, well, dumb money and the GameStop short squeeze with, the hedge funds that we saw in 2021, where retail investors put a damper on the smart money. The dumb money put a damper on the smart money. We're going to be doing a watch along live with this on Saturday night in the Discord for all the pioneers. So enjoy that. Coming up soon at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're not in the Discord, the description's down below. $2.23 for a lifetime, lifetime access. So just make sure you do that. If you want to catch Dumb Money premiering with a talk along after the movie. So I know a lot of people are, understanding we're in this speculation of the price moving up because of the spot ETF that we keep seeing talked about right now. And if we continue to see Bitcoin keep creeping up to 42, 52k over the next several weeks or month, it's going to be the ultimate buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. We're going to see that rinse repeat of history of a pullback. And the higher the price goes before a retracement, you guys, the harder the pullback's going to be. So we should be more fearful the higher we get to 42, 52k, to be quite frank. If we're being a sophisticated analyst and investor right here. But, we don't give financial advice. This is me documenting my journey into the, digital decade. But we know this can go one of two ways right now, pioneers. After this correction today of 38k, is this going to be the start of the correction, or are we going to get an exuberant buyback and see it take place over the next several hours? Because if that happens, then we're just going to end up getting continuation, and that's again going to make our pullback even more ultimate. But right now it's starting to look like a lot of sell wall exhaustion, buyer exhaustion right here, and the seller is starting to kick in. Potential ABC corrective wave right here, just to confirm that a downtrend is in, as long as we break this low right here of 35, basically 35 psychologically. So again, we know not every exchange hit 38k, but most of them did. Index is reading a high of 37 on this chart. So if we end up closing tonight in 30 minutes roughly, I'd say below 36.5. If this was to just start selling off right here over the next 30 minutes, we can potentially start seeing this break down back to around 36 even, is what I'm thinking. If not, and we start to see this over the next several 2-hour time frames, the London markets, etc., start to buy up this, hammer doji that we saw right here, we can end up seeing this possibly get bought right back up and start setting a higher high, start breaking up towards 39. So this is definitely what I'm looking at over the next several hours overnight. As we head into Friday weekly close, and into Sunday the weekly close. The institutional weekly close Friday, and then the Sunday weekly close. So we could be in for a decent sized correction right here is what I'm paying close attention to. Whether we come back down here, retest the highs of 34, this previous high cluster range, or if we come back down here to test the previous highs of 31k. Something that can definitely happen right now, I do think. So far we've been respecting this uptrend though, pretty exuberantly. I mean, the RSI has not been back down to underbought, ranges since beginning of October, so basically almost a full month. So we can definitely watch for this to develop. It could take a few days. If this definitely turns into a rejection, it could look like, boom, that's what we're doing. And I know if we break these two ranges of 33, 34k, basically 33k, then we can go right back down here to 31.8, something we've been calling for. So we're going to keep watching, see what happens. Because right now, if we look at this and we pull a fib from today's high to the wick low, we can see we're getting rejection right now from the 0.5, basically a dead cat bounce if we can't claim this level. So as long as we stay above the 382, break above the 0.5, we can get back up here and start climbing up and eating this up, is what I was explaining earlier. So if not, we're just going to break the 236, head on back down to these ranges right here, and then it's hard to see, I know. I got a lot of stuff on this chart, but the range we've been calling for is right here on the daily. When you come in here and you look at these two exponential moving averages that that again have not been back tested since, beginning of October, you guys, especially on the 2-hour time frame, October 2nd, October 14th on the daily. So but yeah, I just see a retest of around 28k still in the cards. Even if it's a wick that's bought up quickly in the same day, it's very possible, and it wouldn't be something we haven't seen before. I know a lot of people are pretty adamant on, we don't go past these lows anymore, come back down to them. But I'm pretty sure that it's quite possible that we can. We've done it right back here in C19 as well. We came out of here in 2015 and 16. I've shared with my pioneers how we're in this ascending wedge, which is just a flat line of resistance and a incline of support, and we break out, but then we get a retest right back into that level again. We did the same thing in here in C19, and we still didn't break the lows. And this was a global shutdown of the entire world, you guys. And what are we doing? I shared with you. We're in the same thing. A flat line of resistance that we finally broke at 31,400. It was pi, okay? And we've been in an uptrend, an incline of support with a breakout, okay? And then we can make our measured move that will eventually take us, eventually, notice how I said that, to new all-time highs, okay, just like back here, okay. And then we saw continuation, a bull run, which is just new all-time highs, new higher highs and higher lows, and continuation. That's it. A bull run is just continuation of higher highs, is what I was trying to say. But anyways, that'd take us on to up to around 85k, 83k. So not surprising, because we're coming out of 38, a range we've been adamant about for, like I said, a year. So our next highs will be seeing if we can break the 52k we lost on the 47k, and then the 52k. That's the more important range right here, hidden back here. But 52k that we lost on the 52nd week of the year back in 2021. So we did a great decode on that at the time, showing you why we saw this sell-off. You'll have to go back and find that back in December of 2021. But yes, this is a range that I'm looking at. It's a 702, 42k, 42 to 43k, 42,200 to be precise. The 422, the mirror of the 224 that we know we get in Satoshi. Satoshi Nakamoto, 224. So I'm looking for 42,200 next. To the upside, pioneers, as a de-risking range. Limit orders set. We de-risked at 38K today. I know a lot of you are going to make fun of me and say I sold too early or whatever, but it's something that we've been, adamant about for a year now, so why would we change it up? We'll end up buying lows when we get them again. Not financial advice. But yes, so let's get back into this and talk about XRP real quick, because we've seen it move up as well. What happened, you guys? I thought it was the general public's idea that the lawsuit was over. It's not a security. It's only up from here after 5.5 years of suppression, and we broke 70K, almost hit 76, which is what I was preparing my pioneers for in the Discord. We did that on the 6th. So we were looking to see if we can hit 76 to 86 cents, which is known as our launchpad theory here for 2 years. When we start getting closes above these ranges, we can rocket up to $1. It's very positive for XRP when we start closing above 76, 86 cents. But since we have not broke that range yet, we're getting a slight pullback, and this could start to get ugly and bring us right back down to these ranges on the daily time frame of 52 cents. And today, pioneers, leaves 52 days left in the year. We know cryptocurrency is highly tied to this 52. Cryptocurrency 52 and crypto bull run. Where my bulls at? Everybody wants to talk about a crypto bull run right now. XRP hit 73 cents recently. Crypto bull run. Bitcoin equals 52. Cryptocurrency 52. BTC equals 52 with the 25 as above, so below. So we know this, pioneers. Highly tied to this. Also, if you go back to the end of Rosh Hashanah, it's been 52 days since the end of Rosh Hashanah and the start of the Jewish Hebrew New Year. It's been 7 weeks, 3 days, and XRP's recently hit 73 cents. 73 is the 21st prime number. It's all tying us to, we know, our favorite god Saturn. So it's not surprising that we're seeing this price action around this time frame. Our next high is 42 that we will see. It's just, when will we see it? Is the pullback that Coach has been talking about finally here? Only time will tell, pioneers, but I'm pretty adamant that we can get a rejection from either this 618 we just got at 38K or that 702. We can even climb as high as that, like I'm saying, right there at around the 888 before getting what is known as a basic double top and a consolidation period that can even come right back down into these ranges over the next 6 months, heading into April, the halving March, and we start to climb back out then. It's quite possible. Only time will tell. But hey, what does Coach know? Only TA is showing us this. Maybe it's not necessarily something Bitcoin's done before, but hey, it's only been around 15 years now, so let's not forget that. So yeah, just out here throwing out my 2 cents, not that it matters. But if we look at this on the weekly time frame, we know indicators that we've talked about is the 200 SMA simple moving average. We've yet to get our golden cross with the 50 and the 200 yet, you guys. So I don't understand why everybody's so bullish. We've only been going up almost 5 weeks straight now. You don't think there's a healthy correction coming? Because if we look at this right here and we go, well, this is the 4th bull run basically we can consider now for Bitcoin since its inception. And if we before the halving came back and pulled back before this halving right here, after this bull run, if we came back and pulled and retraced 50% before the halving of our previous all-time high, and then we later corrected right after, and then we went into another bull run several years later, and then corrected into a bear market, but then we automatic rallied 50% back into our previous all-time high before the halving, but then had a correction right after, only to then continue that cycle again, rally 50% before the halving back here in April and May, of our previous all-time high, but then had a correction. Do we not think now that we have finally traveled 50% back into our previous all-time high before the halving coming up that we could not have a correction right here. I mean, history has shown us that we can. So again, we got to look at this on a higher time frame sometimes, and pay attention to the patterns that we've seen now that we've retraced 50%, broke preliminary supports back here. We'll get to that in a minute. But, what can we see? Can we come back and retest these ranges of 28K? That has been a 3-year horizontal trading range because we've yet to have a healthy correction back there? I think so. Something we've been preparing you for. This 223 EMA as well as this 322, although that I don't think will go as low as 21. But no matter what we see on the world stage, that could potentially wick us down there, like C19, 2008 housing market crisis. Things we've seen in the past, we can never count them out. So limit orders, having them set, is always a great opportunity to be able to buy a grandiose portion of any pullback that we may potentially see. Again, higher time frame indicators, extremely overheld, overbought, setting, just exuberant opportunities to, attack any downside price action we may see. So again, let's go right here. We talked about breaking the previous preliminary support. Yeah, we'll go to the daily time frame so we can see this. But yeah, a lot of people, we've been talking about how they've been bringing up this Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic. Anyways, distribution, reaccumulation, they're all being talked about right now. There's plenty of Wyckoff patterns for you to examine, but we know we had this previous preliminary support back in May of 2022 before breaking down into our lows of last November, like we talked about, before essentially being bought up in an uptrend for the last year. So now that we're seeing that we broke our previous resistance, we've had our supply test back down here, we had our potential spring right here with nothing but LPS, last points of supply, and signs of strength along the way. Could this finally be our backup phase and last point of supply before we end up rocketing into the phase E like we've talked about, that could take us on up to 49 and 52K like we've talked about? This previous range that a lot of people are gonna think it's this range we need to break, or just think we need to get past all-time highs, but it's really going to be this previous cluster range right back here at around 52K that I think we spend the most of our time around, or just get the more rejections from. That's going to be something I'm paying close attention to. We spent quite a bit of time right here fooling around, about 26 days, almost a full month, versus I know this is a sideways trading range, but we've basically already retested that. It's right there at around 38K. I do think versus 100 days we can easily climb past 38K. I think 40 is more psychologically that we get to, and then we just gravitate on up from there towards that very exuberant 50 coming out of the 50-year biblical jubilee last year. The 50 is more exuberant to me. I really think we're going to spend more time around there, just put another range high before possibly wicking on along the way. Only time will tell, but since we're in a bull run, maybe we don't spend as much time neither. Kind of contradictory, right? I know, I'll behave. But 50K is my dominant range we have to break, and I think it's going to be the one that gives us the most trouble, is basically what I'm saying. Roy Moore asked me a question. We had this pattern. I want to make sure I brought that up. One of my pioneers. I shared with my pioneers how we were in basically a rising wedge on the 2-hour time frame, which we knew had a 68% chance of a breakdown. He asked me how we can measure these patterns, and I want to make sure I brought that up, because we can go right here and we can just pull from the top bar to the bottom bar, and we can bring it right over here, and we can see that again can bring us back down to around that 54-cent range that I've been sharing with my pioneers. So that's still going to be our measured move with TA right here. Another few examples. That's a dirty chart, ain't it? The next one's better.
Daily. Yeah, right here. Great example. Just like right back here, an example is we can draw a trend line right here, and we can see that if we take this over here, because it's a descending wedge, not a rising wedge, it's a falling wedge, it's going to have a 68% chance of a breakup. Rising wedge, 68% chance of a breakdown. Alright, so we can take it right here, and we see we came right back up to our measured move of 31,400 that we were calling for, pi, 31.5, before rolling over. So same thing, bring it from here to here, pull it to your breakout, and it's going to show you your measured move. And if you were aiming for the downside and we were to break down, it would have showed us that we were headed to around 20k psychologically. So yeah, that's one way to do that, Roy. Just want to make sure. Also, I want to bring up how we've been getting rejection from, if we were to pull a parallel channel from the beginning of the year, our December lows going into our March highs, March 10th pullback into our April highs. We had our June pullback, and now we're getting our November highs. We're just hitting the top side of the parallel channel again, and have had amazing rejection. I mean, a doji, long wick theory, potential bull trap on the daily time frame right here. And if we were to see this by the end of the week close even larger, pretty bearish, or even turn red, this could be showing potential correction, trend reversal. So something to pay attention to. Alright, so altcoins, let's look at a few of them, because we know Link has been on fire, and we knew we were headed to around this $16 to $26 range is what I've been talking about recently, because I think we did a decode on this in my last video, my last live, and I think Link gave us 26. Yeah, so I think that's the $26 range that we're looking to take initial profits out to see if we get a healthy pullback from around that 382 range. We don't care if we quite catch the top of whatever run we might see, but right now we're kind of getting rejection from that $16-15 range. Bitcoin's 15 right now, so it wouldn't be surprising if we started to cool off after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in the uptrend. Where's my RSI? It's not showing. Okay, yeah, RSI on the weekly, it's pretty overbought, about 80, so we'll behave. We might take a little de-risking opportunity right here. As a matter of fact, we'll establish this by night's end or the end of the weekend, and we'll see where we're at. Saturdays and Sundays are sometimes not very good for the retail trader, let's remember that. But yeah, Chainlink just looking pretty good again. We're gonna go ahead and probably de-risk though. Let's look at this on the daily. Oh Lord. But yeah, pretty indecisive so far on today's daily. Already seeing tomorrow's 10th candle, so Chainlink's already closed the daily. Yeah, alright, so potentially watching for a pullback right here, so might need to get on the exchange fast for that one. Not financial advice. ADA sitting at 36 right now, 36 cents. So Cardano, ADA, still looking to see if we can previously break this. Now that we're holding the top of the 322, we want to get this yellow above, get these back in bullish posture and upwards momentum. See if we can get on up here to back on up here close to $1, you guys. That'd be nice. Be a pretty good substantial increase over the next several weeks if we were to continue to see a mini altcoin rally of 147% for ADA. That'd be nice. But yeah, let's look at Hedera hash graph. Somebody asked me about it. Let me make sure I answer that, so they didn't know what to think of it. That's ordinals. There's my H bar. It's hex. Huh. I just had to pull up a new Hedera. Let's see what we got here. Have to figure out where my chart is. I know I've got some TA done on it. I mean, yeah, we're just still in, a pretty nice correction phase, to be quite frank. Still building base and foundation. Basically since inception. If this is the all-time chart for Hedera Hashgraph, then this is going to be, just still roughly down almost 90%. So I mean, this is something I kind of would like to continue building my position in. Something I have got, now been able to accumulate. It was something I took advantage of at a very low price. Got in it, sold. See, I don't know if this is the all-time chart. I really don't. Because we were able to take quite advantage of Hedera Hashgraph in 2021. I just don't quite remember my approach around it, because we were able to get in it quite low, and then I thought we sold it pretty good. Then started building a position in it for quite some time. Yeah, that's not it. Now we've got over quite a few, several thousand coins accumulated in this project. So I'm pretty bearish on it, but I just don't know where my chart's at right now, Pinchy Gordo. So let me see if I can find another H-bar chart to see if this is the all-time chart. US dollar index. Let's try that. Let's get a few of them up here and let's see what we got going on. Yeah, see, that's a lot better. I knew something was up. Yeah, that's a lot better. See, I thought we were buying it around the 3-cent range, and then we took advantage on close to, it was close to 60 cents, wasn't it? Yeah, 50 something cents. We were able to de-risk. Took major advantage of this project. We've been in nothing but correction phase since, building base right back on top of our previous, 2020 highs. Back here, and we were coming out of lows of a penny, heading on up into 7 cents, coming back building base around 3 cents, where we were dollar cost averaging in. We de-risked up in these ranges. Let's pull a fib. Yeah, 4.236. That was a major range to de-risk right there at around 29. We rocketed on up into the 50 range almost over here in September of 2021. Took advantage of this right here at around 50 cents. I think was the highest I took advantage of. I think it hit a high of 55, 57, something like that. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. Dollar cost average back in over the last year, and we've been doing nothing but correcting. So what we've yet to see is the start of the next phase for it, to just start to break back above previous highs. These are the two ranges we need to break: 9 cents, 5 cents, 7 cents. We're at 5 cents now. We broke it. So I think we're just slowly starting to climb. We could get a correction depending on what happens in the markets, like I've talked about on the world stage, for this to come back down into the 2-3 cent range. Maybe, if it's, something very volatile like we've seen around Black Friday, you guys. We always tend to get a Black Friday Thanksgiving sale. Not financial advice, but the Black Friday giving us that same 28 we've been talking about. But hey, I'll behave. It's not just TA, it's exoteric things that are giving us this 28K potentially for Bitcoin. What could we see that do to the altcoins? We don't know. But it's quite possible. But that's Hedera Hashgraph, just building base for you. But yeah, already starting to see us get back down in that $36,500 range. Just not really holding this 1618. That'd be a level you want to see support held for continuation, because if you start to get rejection there, you can come all the way right back down into your previous ranges. The 888, the 702, to back test that and hold support at around 34,500, 34,700. So yeah, you can potentially watch your gains get evaporated if you're not careful off this bull trap, long wick theory right here. Clear deviance and trend reversal right here. But yeah, all right. This could even crown top, you guys, become a distributional phase if we were to see that over the next several days. Maybe make one more push up before Bart Simpson and head right back down to, like I said, 28K. Who remembers this? I know it's going to be hard to see, but if you've been here for a while, you know we've been talking about it for a year. But I mean, where's that 28K going to take us? Right back down to retest this parallel channel, and maybe even to retest the heart line or the bottom side. Who knows, depending on how long it takes us to make this distributional top, if that's what this is. And we Bart Simpson head right over. Who knows? Let's go and get the eyes. But yeah, but anyways, if that's what we were to do, I mean, it'd just be retesting a almost 11, almost 12-month-old, parallel channel that is shown to be true, in every form of TA and everything I know to give you. So that wouldn't be still add to cards. Is that 28K retest to the top side of this parallel channel before continuing to break even higher throughout the next year. But alright, you guys, I'm going to leave this here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and God bless. Pioneers rise. Build your fortress and build your legacies.